All right, everyone, welcome back to another recap chat. This is Irene, CBiz Media, Faith, Love, and Trends, and we are talking 90 Day Fiance. This time we're talking 90 Day Fiance the other way. 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples, one person from the U.S., the other from another country. We see their ups and downs on top of language barriers, cultural boundaries, the whole legal system when it comes to getting married in another country, the 90-day time limit, getting that 90-day visa. This is 90 Day the other way. Now let's get back into the show with Johnny and Chloe. They're at the beach, they're chatting, and Chloe expresses she wants something called a meatball night. I'm not really sure what that means. She says she's only going to have one drink. Her friend Maria, she loves to hang out with her, and they drink and they do stupid things. So she's trying to reassure Johnny, hey, we're going to have this meatball night. I guess it's a girl night or something. I don't know. But she says she's going to be a good girl, not drink, not do stupid stuff. One drink, she says. She likes Maria. She thinks Johnny isn't a big fan of Maria because she kind of helps her keep Johnny in check. As far as his extracurriculars with other women. He thinks Maria's a party girl. She's a bad influence. So that's what he's saying on his end. And Chloe's saying she kind of keeps him in check on some level by, telling me what I need to do when it comes to the relationship. Now, it's good to have a friend who advises you, but you don't want to take that person's advice 100% all of the time. You do have to say, okay, I see what you're saying. Let me assess this and see what's best for me to do. But I get that they have a good friendship. So in some way, I think that she's saying something about he's testing her, trying to see if she's ready to get married, marriage material, because they've been talking about it and it's the easiest way for her to start working and them getting their lives the way they want in his country. So she asked him, do you really want to marry me, put the ring on my finger, or is it just the idea of marriage that you're going for? And she feels like he's putting roadblocks and everything in the way to kind of stall the idea of them actually getting married. So then we cut to the girls' night. And she catches the girls up on what's going on. Mom cut her off. They won't be able to go out to these great dinners all the time for that reason. Then one of her other friends that's there says, it's going to take a lot of work for you guys to build your relationship. You guys have the love goggles on. You're on the honeymoon phase. And she lets them know what the lawyer said about the process of her starting to work and live there. And she basically tells them, hey, actually, we need to get married because otherwise we're going to wait 6 to 8 months to get everything started. So one of the friends says, no way. I think it's Maria. She said, you guys don't need to get married. The other one says he talks to a random girl every week. She says since she's been here, he appears to be faithful. And her friends say prepare for the worst. So Johnny and Chloe, they kind of look like they may be doomed before they really begin because it's some new information. We know that Johnny did some slip-ups. Chloe did some things as well. But the friends are acting as if he's still kind of living that life. And Chloe's not seeing it while she's there anyway. She says she's seen things in the past, heard things in the past. Are her friends really painting a worse picture of him than what it really is? Or are they looking too much in his past and they don't know what he's doing in his present? And is Johnny really just not ready to get married? So he's going to try to test her to the point where he's going to say, well, she's not marriage material. She's not good enough. She's not ready. As far as he's told us, he's ready to get married. So what's the holdup on his end? I do see that she can be a bit childlike, but she is, again, only 23. You know what you're getting into if that's what you're going to sign up for that's what you're going to sign up for. And if you're going to have to help her grow up, then you may have to help her grow up in this process if that's what you want. Otherwise, I think you guys should just move on. And Chloe, you can go back to the U.S., get back with your cushy job with mom, and make new plans. What do you guys think about this relationship? All right, now let's go to Greta and Matthew. After breaking the engagement, Greta's at the hotel. She doesn't feel good. She struggled to sleep. And Matthew's dad wants to talk to her. She feels guilty. And the way that she's acting, acting as if, she's wondering if she made a mistake. That's what we previously saw. But kind of looks like she's sticking to her guns here. Dad expresses that he's worried about Matthew. She says she's confused that she doesn't really feel the love because he's a good guy. He's been supportive and all of that. She says the relationship hasn't evolved. It's kind of stayed in the same place. She's changed, but the relationship has not grown to what she needs or to what they need. His dad says he hasn't been given a fair chance. And Greta, basically, he says it's been 4 days. It really hasn't been enough time for you to figure this out. You've had a long trip. Come up with a lot of excuses and reasons why she should, try to hang in there and see what's up. But she said, I'm not going to try to force this. I know that he's not my person. But she does show gratitude to Dad and the family. She knew how much they cared about her and wanted her to be a part of the family. So she does do that. So after that conversation's done, Dad's by himself and he tells us, he really sees no hope. He does wish things were different and he's just going to have to be there for his son to help him pick up the pieces. And I agree with Dad because, she's saying that same thing. She kind of made me think, or maybe the editing made me think that she was changing her mind a bit, but she stuck to her guns. It's like, she could just feel that he's not her person. So why push it? I kind of respect the fact that she's doing that. I know it's only 4 days in, and she broke the guy's heart. He's done a lot to forge this relationship. But it's the beginning of everything. So there's still time to alter things. There's still time to try to reset. And I'm glad she did this at this very beginning instead of waiting it out. And some people were upset saying she should have did this while they were still in different countries and she wasn't feeling things. And it's kind of easy to do that when you're not in the same country, you're not in the same zip code. Even some people have long distance relationships and it's kind of difficult to keep the vibe there. And then sometimes when you go see that person, the connection, you can feel it more strongly. But in this case, she's there. She's not feeling it. It looks like she's tried all she could try. And I think she should be done. If she tries to come crawling back, if I was him, I would have moved on or try to move on because she said more than once what she wants and what she doesn't want. So, I would take what she says and what she does, her first words, at face value and follow those. All right, Matthew, I think you should move on and hopefully you find the person you're looking for. You too, Greta. All right, now let's go with Dylan and Patia. Dylan goes with a friend to go shine up the old engagement ring he took back from Patia, and he's going to give it back to her to propose. His friend Chris mentions, should you use the same ring? He lets us know the first time he proposed to her, they were in bed together, it was a bit lackluster, and just handed her the ring and said, do you want to marry me? So he also lets us know that he took back the ring from her because he thought she was going to pawn it. She was, I guess, going through some financial struggles, and he thought she was going to end up pawning the ring, and that was one of the reasons he did take it back. Chris, his friend, questions their relationship. Will this work? Dylan feels like he wasn't enough for her the first time around, financially and whatnot. And he's like, at this point in her life, she's older. Maybe she can settle down. She's probably more used to the fast-paced life, but, she's older. Maybe, things are going to change at some point, right? As you go down the line in life. So then the friend says, Dylan's very set in his ways. He doesn't know if he's going to change his mind or what he's going to do. He's like, Dylan won't even eat a cookie because that's outside of his diet. I just thought it was funny when he said Dylan won't even eat a cookie. Honestly, will this ring fix this situation is what his friend said. And his friend said he's kind of deluded about this situation. So, cut to Dylan and Patia later. Now they're hanging out at a strip club, the old haunt, and Patia's feeling some good vibes. She's like, this is more her vibe. She was kind of bored in the town. I think it's Tasmania. And she's really feeling this, and it's making her miss performing. He says that he's glad that she's no longer dancing for guys. He'd rather she have a different job. So she's like, well, give me 6 months. Let me go back to dancing, go back to America, go back dancing, and then I can pay off this debt. And he was talking about different scenarios she could get herself into, like the champagne room where she can dance by herself with one guy. He's not comfortable with that. The alone thing. He said, we're both strippers, but for me, it's a bit of a double standard. He said they're both things that we do are transactional, but me, I dance for groups of women at a time, while she can be in situations where she's dancing alone for one guy, and it can put her in a situation. For Dylan, he's now thinking to himself, maybe she won't change, maybe he's still not enough, and she's addicted to a certain type of lifestyle. She keeps saying, give me the ring, give me the ring. Will the ring change things was the question. And he also wonders to himself, will she leave him like she left him in Thailand? Because she's already talking about leaving, is what he said, and going back to get some more money in the next 6 months. I'm like, well, why does she have to leave? Why can't she dance here? Is it something maybe you feel like it will be a conflict or people will look at her a certain way? Why can't she dance somewhere there in that country? Now, I do know that she has to have a visa probably to work. So maybe that's the reason why she would have to go back. But what do you guys think about Dylan and Patia's situation? Patia has her own issues. Dylan has his. I feel like Patia's issues are a bit bigger than Dylan's issues. And he wants to live a chill life, and she never wanted to. And it's okay to have those type of differences because, it's up to you the type of lifestyle you want to live, but you have to find someone that's like-minded in that scenario. Also, he never felt like he was enough. And I think it was more financially than anything else. He couldn't provide the life that she wanted in that way. So is that going to continue to be an issue? He said he's not attracted to anyone else. He really just wants to be with her. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do, Dylan? It's kind of up to you. Because honestly, Patia is kind of a wild card. And she could do either or. It's kind of up to you if you're going to try to stick and stay in this situation and make it work, or just let Patia go. All right, Luke and Madeline. Luke is stressed because Madeline could be pregnant. And I said, well, you guys haven't been safe, so what's the big surprise, Luke? He's like acting a little upset that this could happen, but you knew that you weren't using protection, so shouldn't be a surprise here. They argue about the possibility of having a baby when they aren't even really getting along with each other themselves. She cries and she's like, you know what? I don't want to know. He's like, please take the test. I want to know. She's like, I don't want to know. After begging, she goes and takes this test. He doesn't even know how to read the test. He's like, doesn't it supposed to say pregnant or not pregnant or whatever? And she just basically has one line. and basically the test is negative. They're both kind of crying. He was crying in a way because I think he was crying because he thought he could have a child, and I think they both were kind of crying also because they were a bit relieved at the same time. But his tears and his desire to have a child with her is kind of making her feel like he's in this for the long haul. She still doesn't trust him. They fight over the company and money again, and she wants her name on things. She said, "You don't ever value me." He said, "Well, why don't you just let me lead? Let me be the man in this situation." Something that you should have said a long time ago, but I think there's things that they are saying to us that they're not saying to each other. She really just wants to get her name on these things. She feels like if her name isn't on these things, that he can move over to another woman, he can change to someone else. And he says he just really wants happiness for her and for them to be happy together. They kiss and make up for now. You know how their thing is, up and down, up and down. They're about to get married, so hopefully they can at least have a good wedding day and all the love vibes can be there. At least to the honeymoon. But then you guys will start fighting again. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with these guys, but they're supposed to be getting married soon, so let's see how that plays out. The fact that she's not pregnant, I think they're not ready, so I think it's a good thing, and I think that they have a lot to work on. Should they even be getting married right now? I'm not sure, but sometimes you have to work things out within your marriage. They're on a deadline. That's the whole 90-day world. You don't have much time. She keeps pushing it back anyway. To me, honestly, she does need some more growing up to do, and a little bit like Johnny and Chloe, he might have to help her grow up, but he has some things he needs to grow up into because he does not handle the finances properly. His money's always an issue, but he does have a woman that is very demanding in the money department. Again, it's incompatibilities again. A little bit like Patia and Dylan, some incompatibilities on the type of lifestyle you want. Fast, fun city life or country life, or how much money you want to spend. So these, you might care about someone, you might love someone, but these incompatibilities can play a big part in whether you should be with that person or if it's really gonna last or not. So that's it, guys. It's another episode of 90 Day Fiance the Other Way. Thoughts, comments, questions, let me know. Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com. We'll talk again. All the best, and God bless. Check us out on our other platforms at cbiztvmedia.com.